Labor cost. The labor shortage is driving salaries up. It has gotten to the point that we're just swapping folks and raising salaries, says David Worth, General Manager of Emerson Climate Technologies. In the past decade, real wages for manufacturing workers in China have grown nearly 12% per year. Worried about an ever-widening gap between rich and poor, the Chinese government has raised the minimum wage in the 5 largest manufacturing provinces 14 to 21% in the past year alone. According to a study by the Boston Consulting Group, in 2000, China's average wage rate was 36% of that in the United States, adjusted for productivity. By the end of 2010, that gap had shrunk to 48%, and the Boston Consulting Group estimates that it will be 69% in 2015. The average manufacturing wage in China is about 2.25 euro an hour, which is comparable to the average manufacturing wage in some of the Eastern European Union countries. Fixed to variable portion of wages in China is typically 9-to-1. A salary usually includes a large number of allowances. The cost of benefits can constitute up to 40 to 65% of total compensation. Hiring foreign employees. Very often, a foreign company will wish to employ a foreigner to manage operations or to legally represent the company in China. To be employable in China, a foreigner must have the following qualifications: 18 years of age or older and in good health. Professional skills and job experience required for the work of intended employment. No criminal record. A clearly defined employer. Valid passport or other international travel document in lieu of a passport. The process of obtaining a work permit for a foreign employee is different for different cities, but generally goes through the following stages. Employer obtains employment license and invitation letter for prospective employee. Employee applies for Z visa abroad. Chief representatives and legal representatives may apply in China. Employee must pass health examination check in China. Employer obtains work permit for employee, valid for 1 to 2 years. Employer obtains residence permit for employee, valid for 1 to 2 years, multiple entry. A company with both foreign and Chinese employees will often use a 2-tier wage system. This is not recommended. Localization is increasingly more common among foreign-owned companies. Turnover and retention. While attracting and recruiting qualified employees in China is difficult, retaining them is even more challenging. Based on report findings from a survey covering 19 industries by one of China's largest human resources service providers, the average employee turnover rate for privately owned companies in China for 2010 was 18.5%. The major reasons cited by employees for changing jobs are better compensation package, better career opportunities, better training and development opportunities, better opportunities to use skills, better benefits, company has better prospects for success. Termination, severance, and labor disputes. China uses a contract employment system which is heavily based on the North European legal framework. In a contract employment system, it is very difficult to terminate an employee that is still under contract. An employee may only be terminated if he cannot work because of injury, incompetence, a major change in circumstances, or by mutual agreement. 30 days notice is required for both the employee and any relevant labor union. Employees are eligible for severance pay upon termination of employment contract. Severance is based on the number of years worked, in which 1 month's wage is paid for each year of service. Foreign-owned companies should exercise caution when terminating employees because Chinese employees can be highly litigious. There are 4 ways to settle labor disputes in China: consultation, mediation, arbitration, and litigation. Managing and developing Chinese employees. Onboarding and training. Providing adequate onboarding and continuous training to their employees are essential components of every foreign company's HR strategy in China to address the talent shortage and retention challenges. Knowledge and education are highly valued by Chinese employees. Adequate onboarding and training will not only help improve employees' competency, but can also significantly boost morale and reduce turnover rates. Employee motivation and incentives. Low employee morale can seriously affect the business of a company, leading to productivity and retention problems. To address such problems, foreign companies often rely on incentives drawn from concepts which work in the West and which do not necessarily work in a Chinese context. Teamwork. Building and managing cohesive cross-cultural and cross-functional teams in geographically disparate locations presents HR managers with yet another challenge. Management styles will often need to be adjusted to address cultural differences, lack of proper communication, difference of communication styles, working styles, and quality of work, as well as difference in time zones. Consistency of organizational culture in aligning people, processes, and systems with company strategy are key factors for success. Succession and career planning. Despite a growing trend to localize executive and management positions, multinational companies typically fill their top positions in China with foreign employees from headquarter offices overseas, leaving few opportunities to local managers. This is particularly true in the early stages of establishing a foreign-owned business in China. This creates a glass ceiling for Chinese managers, and it could be a major challenge to retention. Organizational development. Organizational development is still very much a new function for HR professionals in China. Common problems that change agents face are: Chinese partners are unwilling to communicate with the foreign board of directors or general manager. Chinese managers responsible for communicating to the workers are manipulating the messages and blocking change initiatives. Change is often met with apprehension. Tough government regulations are hindering change. Final words. Efficiently managing a company's human capital is the key to running a successful business anywhere in the world, but even more so in China. China presents HR managers with unique challenges. Despite those challenges, China still presents foreign companies with great opportunities in expanding their markets.